you hear the door go boom, and then you see Tupac with Suge and about 1,000 Bloods and Crips walking down the middle of the auditorium, just screaming because Big them had just went off. So just imagine Tupac coming, walking down the aisle, walking up the steps, and just walking into the back. It wouldn't have been too good if they had got hold to him, because they couldn't have handled what they had with them at that time. Like, nah, they were totally outnumbered.
Puff felt embarrassed and disrespected, and something needed to be done. So allegedly that next night, he took Keefe D out to dinner on the Sunset Strip. And there, according to Keefe, Puff offered him $1 million to get rid of Pac.
He and Puffy are at this place called Greenblatt's Deli on Sunset. And he tells Keefe D, man, I just need you to take care of this situation with Suge and Tupac.
Keefe, he's claiming that Puffy offered him $1 million to kill Suge or Tupac.
Both of them. Yeah, both their names came out.
$1 million in 1995 is equivalent to over $2 million today. And to a Compton Crip who's probably broke, this is life-changing money. If this is actually true, then Puff is a cold man, because there's no way in the world that any gang member would ever turn this down.
$1 million. Yeah.
Feel confident your taxes are done right with TurboTax Live Experts. 100% accuracy guaranteed. Try it now.
When you wash your body, do you use a moldy loofah, a dirty washcloth, or you're that guy that just uses their hands while only scrubbing your pits and privates?
Puffy knew this. It was only a matter of time.
Everything includes a freaking paid promotion.
September 7th, 1996. It's a big day in Las Vegas as Mike Tyson is set to fight at the MGM Grand. Of course, for the big fight, all of the celebrities are in town, including Tupac. Well, it's the afternoon and everyone is having fun before the event. Particularly, Tupac and Suge Knight are walking through the casino lobby. That's when they're approached by a man who's being disrespectful. This would be a young man named Orlando Anderson, the first cousin of Keefe D and fellow Southside Crip. Well, the story goes that he disrespects Pac, and Pac socks him in front of everyone. Orlando is furious, so he goes and gives a statement to police. Then he meets up with Keefe D and tells him about what happened at the casino. So Keefe and Orlando sit in the hotel room thinking about what they can do.
It's a gnarly, thing of events that are coming
Then they get a call from a very important factor. This would be a New York plug and associate of Puffy by the name of Eric Von Zip. Zip allegedly calls them and says to meet in his rental car. Keefe and Orlando hop in and he hands them a Glock 40. They then hop out and Zip takes off. Keefe and Orlando then hop in their own car. 11 p.m. The Tyson fight empties out and Tupac hops in Suge's BMW 7 Series. Suge then pulls off and stops at a red light on Las Vegas Boulevard. Coincidentally, Orlando and Keefe happen to be reaching the same red light. They hear some girls yelling Tupac's name and approaching the BMW. That's when they pull alongside the car. From there, Orlando rolls his window down and the rest is history. The incident shocked the world and shifted all the attention away from the Mike Tyson victory. The world's biggest rapper was now in critical condition and not expected to survive. 5 days later, on September 13th, Tupac was pronounced dead at the hospital. Everyone wanted to know who did this, but no witnesses ever came forward. Well, here is where things get juicy. Damn, that was corny. Right after the news broke, Keefe D recalls getting a call from Puffy. He claims that Puff asked him, "Was that us?" and promised him the $1 million reward.
You said that Puffy called and said, "Was that us?"
Because Puffy called too, right?
Yeah, him and Biggie's wife. What's her name? Faith. Yeah.
So tell me about that. Them two calls.
He just asked, "Was that us?"
Who said that?
Puff did.
Now it's time for Puff to pay up. He allegedly sends $1 million check to Zip and tells him to wire it to Keefe.
Zip had a check in his right pocket, right back pocket, and that check was for $1 million.
Now, all that needs to happen is for Zip to deliver it to Keefe, and his life is changed forever. But did you guys think that that would actually happen?
So the FBI told you that Zip kept that money as well.
They said Zip's a dirty. Everybody cross you.
You guys never got any money?
Never.
For anything?
Nothing. Not even a pair of Sean John drawers.
Man, what was Puff thinking? It's almost like he orchestrated this.
But he never gave the money to him.
But thank God he never gave him the money, right? Think about it. If he gave the money, Puffy will be in prison now, money for hire.
You know, Eric Von Zip keeping the money kind of shielded everyone from the situation in its own
So he's a savior
twisted type of way.
According to the FBI, because Zip didn't give the money to Keefe, Puffy dodged prison. But here's my question. Is Puff really responsible for what happened to Tupac? Yes, he did offer the $1 million, but it was Tupac jumping Orlando Anderson that really caused the situation, right? Well, Keefe disagrees, as he thinks that Puff is to blame.
If I wouldn't have never met him, I wouldn't have never been involved in this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, man. So you feel like Puffy, he's the reason for your empire and Suge empire going down because of the whole situation with Tupac.
Exactly. He the only one still balling. Because he pitted us against each other, it seemed like.
But what do you guys think? Is Puff responsible for the loss of Tupac, or is Keefe D a grown man not taking responsibility for his actions? Well, if you ask Diddy, he'll tell you that he had nothing to do with it.
Now, it was this documentary that claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense.
Are you good?
No, I think I'm late on my car insurance. Good thing the General gives you a break when you need it.
With flexible payment options.
We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we're not even going to go there, with all due respect, but it's nonsense.
Which we never believed, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Regardless of what you believe, the truth is that Puff was becoming the boogeyman of the rap game. With Big Jake and now Pac gone, Puff felt like nobody could mess with him. His violent ways were just starting, and that takes us to the next chapter of the story. After the passing of Tupac, Puff went about his life like nothing had happened. But for whatever reason, his bad boy artists were not so secure in their ways. In fact, they were very cautious of their whereabouts and made sure to avoid California at all costs. Eventually, though, they would have to go back to Cali. And that takes us to the Soul Train Awards of 1997. The awards are held in Los Angeles, and because of this, the bad boy artists do not want to go. In particular, Mace thinks it's too risky, and Biggie decides to not go at all. He happens to have a broken femur, and he tells Puff that he's in too much pain to fly back and forth. He also mentions that going to LA is not the best idea, which is really the real reason. But Puff tells him that he'll be safe and nothing will happen. And according to the bad boy president Kirk Burroughs, he kept convincing him relentlessly.
We could not go, but Biggie did have an inconvenience. He had a car accident, I think it was in Brooklyn, maybe downtown Brooklyn. He had a broken femur at that time, and he was recovering from that. Big-sized person, could not really sit comfortably in a plane, not even first class, with a cast on. It was uncomfortable. He was talked into going to the LA portion of the trip.
Strangely though, Puff doesn't care if Biggie goes to the award show, he really just wants him at the after party.
Yo, that whole week, man, Puff was like, yo, Big, you gotta come to this party, you know, and he wasn't getting the response that he needed from Big to make sure that he was going to the party.
Finally, Biggie caves into Puff and decides to come to LA. But what Puffy doesn't know is that directly after the award show, Biggie will be flying to London. This is because Clive Davis booked him for a major media appearance where he'll be introduced to a worldwide audience. March 7th, 1997. The award show takes place and everything goes smoothly. That's when Biggie tells Puff that he's headed for the airport to fly to London. As you would expect, Puffy is livid and he calls Clive Davis right away. He tells him to cancel Biggie's appearance in London because he wants him at the party in LA.
But it was put together so that Biggie could receive an international press junket in London with all press from around the world meeting him that Saturday, Sunday after the Friday award show night. Diddy called late Friday night saying he's not going to London. Call Arista, cancel it. You go. You represent it. You go. He's not going. He wants to stay here in LA. So we knew how